how to understand the love of the Lord when He gives you more trial. In my personal life, I have more trial than anything else. Trial to have a baby, we cannot have. And we are here going to the temple, doing every single thing we are supposed to do. How to understand that?
Okay, you're falling into a trap that I want everybody in this room to avoid. And that is, God must not love me if I suffer. I must be being penalized if I suffer. Can you see the danger of thinking that way? Every person I know in this book suffers. Peter, who was crucified upside down. James, the first Christian martyr from the New Testament. Paul, beheaded. Now, does God like Peter and James and John and Paul and Isaiah and Ezekiel and Jeremiah and Daniel, prophets of captivity, prophets of persecution, prophets of trouble and trials of every kind, who suffered more than anyone in time or eternity that we know of? The living Son of the living God, the only perfect child who ever lived. Don't ever, please do not fall victim to the temptation to say, well, I guess God doesn't love me. Because what on earth would that say about His love for His only begotten Son? These are times for faith. These are times for perseverance. Life is filled with times of trouble. I just ask us to cling to the wonderful examples that we've had, starting with the Savior and going down through virtually every figure I know how to point out here. If there were any really picnic stories in here, I missed them. They must have taken them out of my edition, because everyone in here is a hard story. And I think that's for a reason. That somehow, and this is the part that I don't fully understand, and I don't ask you to just blissfully accept it and glide out of the room, but there is something at work in suffering that is exalting. Now, that is not news anybody particularly wants to hear today, but I think it somehow must be doctrinal, that suffering is exalting. I don't know whether that's because it makes us more patient with others. Does it make us more sympathetic with other people who've got troubles? Is it part of the expanding of our heart to where we're not smug and we're not self-centered and we're not trivial? I don't know. I think it's probably all of that. But it is hard to read these, and it is impossible to read the life of the Savior without coming to the conclusion that suffering somehow is preparatory to exaltation. So hang on and say your prayers and trust in the Lord and lean against that pillar and know from Elder Holland, as a promise to you apostolically today, that it'll never be removed, and someday, somewhere, sometime you'll have more children than you know what to do with. And I don't say that trivially, I say it prophetically, that with the eternal view and the long sketch of our plan of salvation, every blessing, tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold, will be given to us. But I think probably only when we've worked off our rough edges and been ready to receive it. You find that the load you say you can't carry, you carry. And the road you say you cannot walk, you walk. And you walk it for another day, and you walk it for another week, and you walk it for another year, and you walk it for however long you have to walk it. And here's what's happening. God is revealing to you the divinity in your soul. And how else can He do it? We say, we're gods and embryos, we're gods and goddesses, we're kings and queens. We talk about ruling worlds and planets and the universe. And I don't know how we get from there, from here to there. It isn't by the waving of a wand, and I don't think we just pop out of the grave. I don't think we just pop up out of the casket saying, Lord, okay, boy, I'm ready, bring it on. Everything I know about the gospel is line upon line and precept upon precept. Everything I know is that way. And so what you're being taught and what he's being taught and what she's being taught is that there is divinity in you, and you're a lot stronger than you thought you were, and you can handle a curve better than you thought you could, but it is every single day. It is every hour. It is every week, until you finally say, on this headlong rush down to a nosedive into a brick wall, is it possible? Is it possible that this thing is actually leveling out, and that either it's different or I'm different? And I'm suddenly, is it possible I am actually ascending rather than descending here? And you find that you're more divine in a way beyond your laurel lesson, or beyond the promise of your patriarchal blessing. It takes on reality and dimension and divinity. And I don't know how else we achieve godhood. I don't know how else we achieve divinity. I think we just have to be put in enough situations to say, it really was in there. And I really do have ability that I thought I had to face the day, and to have hope, and to commiserate with the mother with the child and the husband without the job. And you all answer each other's prayers. My convictions and my feelings for the Savior of the world have been born in the most desperate hours of my life, when I wondered whether the sun would ever come up again. Seemed to come up for other people. Seemed to come up every morning for everybody else I could see, but not for me. Now, it isn't always like that, and it's not supposed to always be like that, and we're a little self-pitying if we act like it's always like that. But some parts of the discipleship require that walk, basically his walk.
If you need a steady hand to guide you, if it seems you've somehow lost your way, if you feel there's no one you can turn to, just look to God and pray. On your knees or standing at a crossroads, late at night or in the light of day, in a crowd, a closet or a chapel, just look to God and pray. He is there when you're searching for the answers. He is there when you need a little grace. Anytime, anywhere you have a chance to seek the one who knows the way. your hopes and dreams. He is listening. There's no time or distance in the way. The moment you begin, it's just you and him. He is there when you're searching for the answers. He is there when you need a little grace. You're his child and his love will never fail you. He is with you, he will hear you, he will stand.